right now.
Just like you said, Gina, anyone who's been injured in an auto accident.
And later,
Sarah is not on the lease of our apartment, and she also is bringing tons of strangers into our apartment that I'd never seen before in my life. And I think one of them stole the boots.
closed captioning coming up.
These boots could not have been stolen by anyone else. We're on a second floor apartment, and they were on the back patio. There's no way, I mean, you physically cannot steal these boots unless you come through the front door of our house and go onto the back patio.
Closed captioning the verdict with Judge Hatchett. Brian Walker is suing his former roommate Daniel John in the amount of $560. Mr. Walker claims his favorite pair of cowboy boots were stolen from their apartment and says Mr. John is to blame for the theft.
Brian, you're in court today suing your former roommate. Tell me what happened.
Your Honor, what happened is Daniel put a pair of special cowboy boots that my granddad gave me for my high school graduation present. He put them outside on the back porch of our apartment, and they were stolen. Usually I'm really careful and protective of them because they mean so much to me. But we had gone to this country music festival a couple weeks before they went missing, and they got wet. So when we got back, Daniel had the idea of putting newspaper in the boots to help dry them out, and we put them in the closet of our apartment to just let them sit and dry.
Okay, so tell me what happened. And Sarah's here, so you were involved in all of this. Come and stand up and join us.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Daniel, what happened?
Your Honor.
What about the newspaper and the boots and
What
all
happened
of
was,
that?
a timeline, it started on a Sunday. We had gone to a concert. On Monday, I tried to help him dry out his boots because it rained. His boots got really dirty and wet. I know
At the concert?
At the concert, they got real dirty and wet. On Tuesday, when I'm at my apartment with Sarah, some of her girlfriends and my friends, it started to smell so bad, so I had to take them out of the closet and put them on the back porch. I even texted him saying, I put your boots on the back patio, they smell.
All right, so Sarah, you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so how would you describe the situation with the boots in the closet?
We just started sniffing around trying to find what was stinking up the apartment, and we found out that it was Brian's boots. Then Daniel proceeded to text him, and then Brian just never responded.
Coming up.
These boots could not have been stolen by anyone else. We're on a second floor. I mean, you physically cannot steal these boots unless you come through the front door of our house and go onto the back patio.
Closed captioning provided by. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Brian Walker, who is suing Daniel John for property loss.
Did you get that text?
I did, Your Honor. I was headed into a final exam, and I didn't think to respond to the text. It completely slipped my mind. And frankly, Your Honor, Sarah is not on the lease of our apartment, and she also is bringing tons of strangers into our apartment that I'd never seen before in my life. And I think one of them stole the boots. And, you know, these boots could not have been stolen by anyone else. We're on a second floor apartment, and they were on the back patio. There's no way, I mean, you physically cannot steal these boots unless you come through the front door of our house and go onto the back patio.
Sarah, so where were all these other people in the house?
Your Honor, it was one night that a girl slept over at the apartment, one night on the couch, didn't get into any of Brian's personal space, and we were having friends over. Just any normal time.
Like it's your apartment?
Lots of friends?
It's also Daniel's apartment, and he said that I could have some of our friends over.
It is Brian's position that the only way you can get to that patio is to access it through the apartment.
Right.
That, you know, unless you've got somebody leaping from balcony to balcony, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yes, I personally don't believe it was our friends. Again, we did question them. And even if it was, it's not our responsibility because we did text him letting him know where the boots were. And he should have taken initiative to grab his boots that were so important to him and put them in his closet.
Yeah, but he ought to be able to, he lives there. If the boot's out in the patio and nobody else can access it, he ought to be able to have the boots out in the patio without fear of them being stolen.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Daniel, he knew that I was having finals that week. He knew I was busy. I don't know what he was doing. He obviously wasn't studying for finals. And he put the boots out there. He texted me telling me that he did it. He did not ask my permission to take them out of the apartment. He told me once he had already done it that he moved them.
Your Honor, if I may say, I personally think that Brian is just taking this out on Daniel because he's a little upset that now Daniel's moving in with me. And ever since I stepped into the picture and started dating Daniel, Brian and Daniel's romance has not been the same.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. Promotional consideration. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
You all have been friends for a long time. You were roommates. You decided to move off campus and share this apartment together. Not for one single second, do I believe that you had any responsibility for these boots going missing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
However, there's a big however. When the boots got moved out of the closet, and I understand it was sticking up the closet, and put out, and then you invited people in, or Sarah invited people in with your permission, then I think you've got to have some responsibility. And it's a hard pill to swallow, but you know, somebody that you had in that apartment was responsible for those boots going missing. They just didn't disappear, and a hawk didn't just fly out of the air and come and get it. Therefore, I am going to enter judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $560. Nothing further, we're going to stand adjourned.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $560.
Those boots really meant a lot to me, and no amount of money will ever make up for them, but I hate that our friendship has to end this way.
I know how much those boots meant to you. I personally have inherited things from my grandparents, so I hope in the future we could rekindle our friendship.
This has been a production of Entertainment